Czy na Discordzie musimy to otworzyć, czy nie? Hello, everybody. We just wait for a couple more minutes and we'll start. Today, AMA. This is Maciej. I am the CBDO of Reality Metaverse. You have seen me in the previous AMA answering some questions, but today it will be slightly different. We want to show you things that probably our community team never shared with you previously. It's our vision, what we are planning to do after we release the project. Right now we are promoting our project as a collection of the NFTs based on the real world. However, this is not where we're finishing our project with. The collection is just the first step in our grand scale, in our vision of making the reality into metaverse. So without further ado, first I would like to introduce a teaser, show to everybody what we did back in the day, what we did back in 15 years ago. In 2008, we were developing a metaverse, so to speak, on a game called Second Life. Second Life was one of the very first project that tried to let users enter the digital world and create anything that they wanted to, and people were acquiring different lands. People were had ability to build on the Second Life whatever they wanted to, and people were experiencing to selling, for example, different assets, producing different houses, hiring people to work in the digital coffee shops, and that's again was almost 2 decades ago. So what did we do? So this is a teaser right here, and you should be able to see it now. And this is what we actually created. This is a Krakow. This is a city in Poland, second largest city in Poland. It used to be a capital of Poland, city of kings. And our job was to recreate one-to-one 8 cities in Poland. So actually, if you want to see the presentation by yourself, you can go to Google and just write SlideShare Second Poland, and you'll be able to see what we did 15 years ago. So in 2008, we were building this Second Poland, and as you can see right here, this is the real world, and this is the back then, so to speak, metaverse. This is what we have recreated, and it was different avatar process, very low key. Again, remember that was 20 years ago, and people were adapting a different process, so to speak. You have again Second Life, Second Poland city, and the real world right here. So we had the central. You don't behind. You don't see any buildings back then because computing power limitation, and the real city, of course, is bigger than just the old town. Again, photo taken from the avatar position. So it's at 3 p.m. So we are controlling the time, and as in the metaverse, you could fly around to speed up your transportation stuff. And here's like what people could do. They could talk to each other, teleport, swim. Give me a sec because I'm showing the slide share, so there'll be an advertisement from time to time. but they could also take vehicles, they could dance, they could play sports. So here we have a football stadium, here we have a tennis, things like that, that current metaverses on blockchain, they don't have that. They don't have the gaming experience. And remember, we did that 20 years ago, right? We could send people to work. They could build 3D objects, have their own businesses, and they could actually earn real L money. So this was the currency back then for the Second Life. It has a different society, so people like were playing avatars, and we did have a type of the different residents. 62% were explorers. Actually, they were, so to say, they were gamers. They came here, were interested, wanted to talk with other people. And some of the people were actually living in Second Life at the time, 8 hours a day, maybe even more. They had more time in Second Life than they had in their real life, And there were, of course, businessmen, creators, so on and so forth. So the avatar creation, there were like some metrics back in and then. The total number of accounts on the Second Life was almost 40 million. As you can see, female to male ratio was pretty even. So it's very similar to what we do currently with the mobile games. And, our numbers at that time, 20 years ago, were really good. If you look at these numbers and, for example, see the news of recently Decentraland have only 36 DAU, well, the numbers speak for themselves. And average time spent, it's unbelievable, 24 minutes and up to 12 hours in 30 days. So on average, people are spending quite a lot of time. Advertisement, yep. All right. And I'm not going to go too much into detail. I just wanted to share with you that we actually had different esport events. Before actually there were esports. Esports were starting to get roughly 2005 to 15. That was when the esport was actually happening. Instant messaging system, 3D voicing even with IP and the stars, billboards for advertising, clubs. There were clubs. There were also meetings room. Here's like another meeting room where people actually were able to watch videos, presentations. People could send SMS to each other. Back then, there was no iPhone 3 yet. iPhone 3 came about 2 years after this, so there was still people were still using SMS to send messages to each other. Advertisement and internet website integration, stuff like this, But I want to run to, if I can see it here, and other possibilities, that collaborating here. Here's something very interesting for B2B. Imagine that you are having company and you want to have a Zoom meeting. Well, when you have a Zoom meeting, you just see like 20, 30 faces next to each other. It's not that good, And imagine if people could actually go to the metaverse, set them as the avatar, and actually be active meeting, active at work. And that's actually the vision, But a lot of companies like Meta, for instance, they're doing the wrong. They put you in the server, and it's just a box. And everything that you see outside is just generated content. What if the things that you see outside is actually real breathing cities based on the reality? Like, for instance, you are in the Paris and you can see the Eiffel Tower, and you can actually see in your meetings avatars flying around. That's a high prestige. Every company will want to be there, So by owning, for instance, the NFT of the Eiffel Tower, you'll be able to have the piece of the land, have a piece of the income streams for investors, right? E-learning process back then, we actually had real classes almost 15 years ago, real classes in metaverse. Unbelievable, and advertisement. Sorry for that, but nothing. And this was one of the really cool stuff. We had a real concert in the real world and at the same time in the metaverse. So over time, over time, I'm gonna skip this, but over time, we generated over 150,000 avatars. So that's what we did. This is our experience, you know. So when you're thinking about reality, our company, we are not people that just came out of nowhere and want to make a project and, you know, sell some token, be rich and disappear. No. This have been our dream for over 2 decades. This is what we always wanted to do. But, you know, back in the day, we had a lot of limitations. There were no NFTs, there was no blockchain, and most importantly, there was no computing power to make what we wanted possible. Now we can. With the help of the Golem processing power, if you don't know what Golem is, just you can go to Golem Network, and they're one of the top processing power in the world. We'll be able to actually recreate not only 1 or 8 cities, but our goal is to recreate 200 cities next to each other, and you can fly between. And it's not going to be, you know, just a small square of the city, but actually 12,500 kilometers, square kilometers of, you know, 3D modeling. So this is, we are truly bringing the real life to metaverse. So very quickly, who we are: we have over 100 people. We have 15 years of experience in metaverses and making games, and we are in the focus on the geo AR game development. Golem is one of the top projects on the CoinMarketCap, and they have 10 years experience in crypto. They did ICO in 2016, and they have been doing. They also have over 100 people in the team. So we combine the power and you know, create a reality metaverse. So our game expertise is very simple. You can actually go to Landlord or Landlord Go on the Google Play on iOS, and actually you can download and play. You know, like it's available right now. However, we are also getting the Monopoly rights, and we are shipping the Monopoly game in 2024. And our expectation is to acquire at least 200 million players download in that game. Now, if you think about it, those users are going to be still Web2 users. So how are we going to incentivize Web2 users to become Web3 players? Well, we want people to have fun. When they play our games, they should have fun. So we're not going to force them to go to the Web3. No, we will sometimes, you know, once you're playing our games, you're going to have an airdrop. Sometimes you will get an NFT. Sometimes you will have a token. And whenever that happen, you know, you will have a message, oh, go to our website to claim it. So you go to the website, you log in with your Facebook account or Google account or Apple account or whatever account you're using, you know, and automatically a wallet opens up, custodian wallet. And when that happens, you start to collecting the assets. Why still playing game? You're still having fun. And those users have no idea what is blockchain. They don't know what is exchange, KYC, stuff like this. It's not important at the moment. But over time, we're sending them push notification. Hey, you have fun, but you can have more fun if you join Metaverse. And did you know that you already collected over $100 worth of items? And people be like, damn, that's interesting. What can I do with it? You know, like, what can I do with the assets that I have? Then education follow. Okay, we can teach you to go to this exchange or to open an account on OpenSea or create a MetaMask. You know, we can educate that later. So slowly we expect about, initially we expect about 0.5%, very slow number, 0.5% of conversion from Web 2 to Web 3. So we're talking about 1 million users in the first year or so. And by 2025, we expect 2% conversion rate from Web 2 to Web 3. It's still very small, but, you know, we expect wider improvement because, you know, technology improves. Just a year ago, it was very difficult to get on the blockchain. Now it's getting easier, and we expect in 2 years the problem of onboarding will be solved. But I'm not gonna promise, oh, we're gonna bring 10%, 20% of the users. No. 2%, which is gonna give us around roughly speaking, number of 2 to 5 million by 2025. And that's a strong assumption when you look into the competition projects when they have like 1,000 users monthly. So it's a big difference. So this is our expertise in games. Our timeline, this is the vision that we want to show you. So right now, we are launching the NFT projects, and they will be on sale most likely this year. Right now, most likely this year, we will have a first collection that we will be able to go to our website, acquire NFTs, and those NFTs will have a lot of utilities. Those utilities, well, mainly for player investors, will be earning passive incomes. So imagine you have that Eiffel Tower. You owned, let's say, 10% of the Eiffel Tower NFT. That gives you availability of using the 3D assets. Now, those 3D assets we are going to put back in our games. For example, Land Go. Once people interact with those NFTs, and inside the Web2, they are not NFTs. They are just premium content. And they make a purchase, you will receive royalties. So think about this in a sense, you're playing a game like Fortnite, and you go to the, you want to buy a skin. You see a nice Spider-Man skin, and you want to buy it for, I don't know, $100. Fortnite needs to pay to Marvel for IP rights of using the Spider-Man image. It's called royalties income. Now, if you own the Eiffel Tower, it's gonna work the same way. People that interact in our Web2 games will pay royalties to you as an owner. And part of the income also, of course, goes to the owners of the real location buildings. So this is in our white paper if you want to read about it. So it's 100% legal in this sense. And over time, the utilities are expanding. So we are starting here. You're buying the NFTs that get you royalties from the games, and that's it. And they have a fully legal rights to operate to Metaverse from real world owners. Eventually, we building a game platform that you will connect those NFTs to 50, 60, 70 games that are in development right now from us and our partners. And we're also launching a project called Railway, which will be incubator that will be incubating projects on reality ecosystem. And those 3D models are going to be upgraded all the way that even a movie studios could be able to come to us and say, hey, we want to rent the Eiffel Tower because we want to make it, like explosive or anything like that. And that costs quite a lot of money for any studio to produce. But why do they need to spend $100,000 to $200,000 when they can rent it for like a fraction of the cost from us? We already have the models. So that will give access to the owners of the NFTs. But, we are talking about just here, present. Our social team, our community team was only talking about what we are doing now. We never mentioned what we were planning to do in the future. So the future, we have all those games ready to ship. So they will be slowly shipping, and all of them will be using the NFTs. And there will be more games coming out. And a real future is actually we're using the Metaverse via API and big data. We have a company called Big Dots that collect the big data and combine those into real reality metaverse. So what it means, reality metaverse. So you'll be able, when you go in the future to our website, to click on one of the islands. And each island corresponds to 50 countries. And when you zoom in, you have each country will have a cities, right? And amazing part of that is that we'll be able to process up to 24 million players at the same time. That's the computing power that we have. And the entire metaverse will be 12,150 square kilometers. That's huge. That's that's what currently the Golem network is going to allow us to have. It's really, really huge. It's not going to be a game that server can only have 50 people, 100 people. Now we are talking about millions of players at the same time. So that's unbelievable. Once you fly in and zoom to a country, then you have a country image, and each country will have different cities. And those cities will be connected by a grid. And if you click through there, then you will go to city. This is the city, how it's going to look like, in our future metaverse. And here will be your NFTs. This is the city square. This is the most prestigious place where people will just hang out, have fun. Right here will be a commercial space to rent. So for offices, big brands, everybody wants to be there because of the prestige. I would love to have my office right in the middle of Times Square. Why? Because all my competitors are there, for instance, right? So if there's IBM, if there's Apple, if there's Microsoft, well, Tesla should be also there, because that's how it usually works. Then those places are for rent, and whenever the companies want to rent it, they have to buy the token, right? They buy the token and they rent it and then put it back to our ecosystem. And if you own NFTs there, well, you're earning passive income at the same time. So more and more utilities as it comes. Now, housing for avatars. You can actually have your own house built or rent it, or ask the company to create for you. So you have your own space in the metaverse. But it's not going to be a place that you just sit there and walk around and, oh, it looks nice, and don't know what to do with yourself. That was the major problem, like Second Life, or currently with major metaverses. No, there will be game experiences. Why? Because we are a game company. We know how to make things fun. You want to bring your friends to play football or pinball, or you want to play darts, or you want to go listen to a live concert. That's what we are planning to do. Not just that, we're planning to have a real star, real celebrities to actually be inside the metaverse. And the last one is the environment background, stuff to chill out. This is also, like I mentioned, you can play some tennis or other things. So it's a big scale, but we are going to GDC in March in San Francisco, and we will have a very large booth showing what we are planning to do. And our goal is to show a demo, the first demo of the first city. So we have a couple months to do it, and I'll be very excited to also share with our community when we have the demo ready for everybody. So why now? And I talk about it. We did this 15 years ago. Why are we doing it again? Because right now we have a 3D scanning technology. We have the drones, we have the equipment. We invest heavily to go and actually scan the whole cities. And then we asking our 3D modelers. We have a team of 30 3D modelers to ensure that the famous NFTs buildings are going to be recreated very precisely. And that gives you opportunity, to, let's say you have a meeting on the Zoom. We're not gonna, in the future, we're not gonna be you sitting in the front of computer watching Netflix and listen to me talking, but instead you're actually gonna be there, and see me walking around, and I will take you on the tour, on the real tour. That's the vision. And the computing power, back then we didn't have it. If too many people came, it just crashed. Right now we don't have that problem anymore. As for marketing, because we are very close to the launch, so our plans is to do major airdrop with influencers. So in the near future, you will actually be listening, hearing about our company quite a lot. We will work with all-star influencers around the world. Some of the influencers actually will go to famous location, for example, to Paris in front of Eiffel Tower, and we will be getting the major billboards. So we want to surprise our fans with something amazing outdoor campaign. We're also going to have a airdrop to our players. So if you don't play Landlord or Landlord Go, well, go ahead, install it, and you will have a chance to get free NFTs. And we will do airdrop of a US SEC or Trump Tower, or anything to make people that are from crypto fall in love with our project right away. So this is something that we are planning to do for the marketing. We also have our own PR network. we have our own distribution. So, last time we mentioned Learn Go, it was published in 2,000 articles in 60 different languages. So that gives, most likely if you go to the Google and look for an article in your language, you will probably find it. But most likely you will also find a TV interview of somebody of our team talking about the landlord in your local language. So, you can put it there. You can go ahead, look, and share this with our community. That, hey, I found you guys in Korea on Japanese or on German or English, and you will probably be surprised how big expose we can have. So that's it for my today presentation. So it was kind of the AMA, but now my team will collect some of the questions, and I will be able to answer a couple. But I just wanted to, share with you, the vision, that the future plan that we have. So thanks for listening, and if there are any questions, please let me know. Oh, I think my team is not paying attention to me. Give me a sec. Hey, Filippos. Skończyłem. I finished. Hey. So I say that we will collect a couple questions, and now I'm looking for somebody who can ask those questions.
Hello, everyone. Long time no see. So let's jump into the recent questions from Twitter. Yeah, just a second. There was quite a lot of them. And to be exact, it was exactly 195 of them. So it was really hard to pick like the perfect one, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go with question number 1. And the question is, NFT are growing rapidly. There are many games that follow the type of role-playing and turn-based game, which are already succeeded in the past few years. What are the utilities of your NFT in-game and in the ecosystem? Can I have a passive income if I'm an NFT owner? It's a question from Alon1111, and I'll leave the voice to Maciej.
All right. So I just warn you to remember to have the microphone. All right. And so the question is about role-playing games, turn-based games. They are very successful. I love World of Warcraft. I love Diablo. I used to grow up on the Civilization. Those games are like bread and butter for my life. Hardcore gamer. I can't wait till Saturday, Sunday to enjoy it. But let's get back to the question. So, what are the NFTs in the game? So the utilities of that is actually in the landlord or landlord go. It's the bread and butter of the ecosystem. If you're having the top buildings, you become a top landlord in the games. So of course everybody will fight for the top buildings inside the game. And let's say in Paris, what's the most famous building in Paris? It's Eiffel Tower. What's the most famous building in New York? Probably Statue of Liberty or Trump Tower. By having this, it gives you ability to actually be better than other players. So in mobile games, often we call this play to earn or play to win, right? But it also gives you a prestige. Why do you buy a skin in Fortnite? That skin doesn't give you any bonuses as a player. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel happy. Makes you feel like I'm playing the game. I just want to be different. And it's actually a very large percentage of the income for a lot of games. Think of League of Legends. Think of all the customizable items in World of Warcraft. Think about loot boxes in all the games. All of them are often just just for the look, and this is a very big market. So those are the major utilities for the games, and for the the future, I just mentioned about that, they will be able to earn the passive incomes for the owners. And in the future, when we have that Rio 3D cities 3D world, you will be part of city center. And then every time that a company, businesses and brands, any type of entertainment, a concert, that is happening there, you will always earn part of the profits that's generated through the metaverse ecosystem. And that's it.
Thank you, Maciej. It was quite a long answer, but I think you covered all of it. So we've got one more, and the question comes from Kim. Collaborations and investors are also equally important for the growth of the platform. So have you made a wise decision in choosing your investors and partners? And could you please tell me about them? So I'll leave the voice to Maciej.
All right. So this is a question that I always have to answer my investors. Who is your next investor? Where the money coming from? Who you're going to collaborate? So if you're following our social media, you'll be able to see that I have been recently traveling a lot. New York, Bogota, Singapore, London, Berlin, Warsaw, so on and so forth. Those are places where actually we are meeting with a lot of partners. So we are closing couple of them, listing. We need our token to be listed where? On the exchanges, of course, and CEXes and DEXs. The big ones, we're talking with the big ones like FTX, like Bybit, like KuCoin, Maciej, Bitmart, so on and so forth. So those we are taking care of. Launchpads, we are choosing the top launchpad that makes sense for our community. We also looking for the top NFT marketplaces to work with. For example, Crypto.com will be one of our NFT marketplaces. We have our own PlayDep, which is the largest marketplaces on Polygon. And of course, we are looking for the chains. So we are going to be building on the Ethereum and Polygon, but eventually, of course, we are going to multi-chain. So if you love Solana or love Hedera or love Tron or love Cardano, we will do our best to be accessible to all. And one of the partnership that we are closing with is called XP Network, which allows if you own the NFT, that you'll be able to bridge to any of the 20 different blockchains on your own, without even if we don't exist on them. And the investors, too early for me to say, unfortunately, because it's contracts, so I cannot tell you, but we are doing pretty well. We will bring some of the top names to our ecosystem. And that's it. I suggest maybe one more question and 2 questions from the chat. Yeah?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
All right.
So, yeah, thank you, Maciej, for this. Another very well answered question. And the next one is from Dr. Sue Desmond. And the question states, currently there are notable problems with stablecoins like Tether, USDT. They have not really shown any transparency in relation to their dollar reserves like many other stablecoins. What is the advantage that Reality Meta brings to the market to renew and make a difference?
All right. So we are talking a little bit about tokenomics, and this is something that we had to hire mathematicians, economists. We working with the different tokenomics companies to ensure that we don't make it bad. It's critical to the point that it's easy to launch the project when the market is going up. Nobody is launching really when the market is going down because everybody afraid that the project will collapse. However, we are developing a token that is going to exist in both market situations. So it doesn't really matter if it's going up or down. And how we're going to do it? Well, first, we're doing buybacks. We are buying our tokens back whenever there's a dip. And the main reason for that is because our profits are often generated in US dollars. When we are talking about the different royalties, when we are launching our games on Google Play, Apple, most of our users are still paying in credit cards, in PayPal, and they're usually paying in euros or US dollars or any other local currency. So this is where the money that we get generated. But we pay our royalties in our token. So what that means that when our reserves are going low, and the users, they don't want to keep the token, they don't want to reinvest, but they want to sell. It's create the sell pressure. We have to buy them back to get our treasury back on normal. So for that, we're doing some market making. We are getting one of the top companies in the world to ensure that our token prices are stable and going up. On top of that, there's a risk that, for example, some investors leave early. So we have in our contracts a 1-year cliff that making investors not be able to sell anything for 1 year, and after that they will have a vesting between 1 to 3 years. So even after 1 year of the project, after token is released, they may be only able to sell 5% of their tokens after maybe 15 months. So it's still a very small amount. However, we did secure ourselves that in our contract with investors, we request them to let us know early that they're planning to sell early. So they offer the OTC trade, which is over the counter. So they don't go to the market and dump it, but they sell it directly to us, to treasury. So instead of going to market and destroy the market, they will give us an offer, and we will just move investor tokens to our treasury. So there are lots of tokenomics that are working to secure that. However, we pretty much know what we're doing, and you should be quite secure about our tokenomics and our token value over time. Thank you. So, any question from the chat?
Yeah, now let's jump to the question from the chat. Thanks, Maciej. Great answer once again. So, I can see that there is a question from Leon Volmont. Will we see any use case of RLTM token outside of Reality Metaverse ecosystem? And now I leave the voice to Maciej.
All right, I will answer quickly this time. Yes. So we're creating more than one game. We are developing roughly right now 8 to 10 games, but we also have an incubator called Railway 3.0, and you'll be incubating games on reality ecosystem. So if you are a game developer, or if you are already have games, for example, on Steam or mobile or Switch, PS5, Xbox, you'll be able to use our assets there free of charge, and any revenue generated, we just shared that revenue with the NFT owners. Cool. And one more. And
okay, thank you. Okay, there's a question from Renaissance. Thank you for the question. And it states, are you planning to launch campaigns anywhere at once? And I'll leave the voice to Maciej.
So I believe this is the marketing campaign, and the answer is yes. Once the project is about to go live, we will do a lot of noise. Like our vision, is not a small project. We are not planning to be in the top 500 or top 1,000. We're planning to be in top 10 blockchain projects around the world. We are going for the sky, basically. I don't want to say to the moon because that has a very bad recently, but I expect the project to go very big. We will do a lot of marketing. We will work with a lot of partners. Just recently, Filippos starting to organize partnership. There will be a lot. There will be at least 200 partnerships coming over the next couple of years. Thank you.
Okay, thank you once again. And I think we're moving closer to the end of our AMA session. So please check out the secret phase in the talk chat to get the badge from Reality Metaverse. So from me, it's everything. Thank you very much for your time and for being here with us. And now I'll leave a short voice to say goodbye to Maciej.
All right, thank you, everybody, and I will see you around. And if you have a chance to go to London next weeks for London NFT or London Token 2049, make sure to let us know on the community and say hi to our team. Bye.